Hey guys, welcome to Gardening Upbeat and I hope you are doing very well. I started with a new hibiscus plant something like this and ended with result like this. That too without using any fertilizers, pesticides and all other things like micronutrients, growth promoter and many other things. Do you really want to know how to do it easily just like ABC? I hope you definitely do. I love hibiscus plants a lot and that's why I have lots of plants. I also try my best to get maximum flowers on my plants. In this video, I am going to share one of the cheapest and easiest method to increase flowers on hibiscus which I found after trying many other things. If you follow this method, you won't have to think too much about fertilizers, insecticides and many other things. At the end of the video, I would also talk about hibiscus pinching, which is again one important thing we need to do to get more flowers and I did not have to do on this plant. So what's the method? As a first step, I am taking a clay pot which is already damaged. Now trying to get rid of the bottom part. Instead of this, you can use any other pot and remove the bottom layer. On second step, here I am taking a 14-inch wider and 14-inch deeper pot. On this pot, I am going to use all the gardening and kitchen waste materials. On very bottom, adding a layer of dried leaves. You don't have to worry in case you don't have dried leaves. You can use coco peat or peat moss. Basically, we need some carbon materials. Or you can also use cardboard box without any chemical materials like painting. Whenever you buy any new things, instead of throwing them, save them separately and then you can use them in gardening. Cheap and effective. Then adding the second layer, and here I am using the kitchen waste. It's better if you can use somewhat more greener materials as they are going to contain higher percentage of nitrogen. We can add almost anything except lemon, orange or any other citrus fruits. Also always crush the eggshells. Eggshells don't get decomposed that easily. We need to avoid using lemon or any other citrus fruits as it can make the soil more acidic. Plus it can also kill the helpful bacteria. I am not using any food items here, only the vegetable peels. Instead of kitchen waste materials, you can also use any other green leaves. We can also use grass, but please avoid using the seeds of grass. Adding one layer of dried leaves and one layer of kitchen waste. Here I am applying around 100 grams of mustard cake powder, adding some more nitrogen. It's optional and you can replace this by adding somewhat more fresh green materials, or you can also add waste items that contains higher percentage of nitrogen such as used tea leaves or coffee grounds. Again, you can also use unused parts of any nitrogen rich things that you eat. For example, fish and meat. I did not want to say this as there are many people who are vegetarian and if you are one of them, really sorry. I am just referring to the solid source of nitrogen and obviously it comes from many sources, not just from non-veg items. Finally, adding potting soil mix on top. The depth of the potting soil mix is around 1.5 to 2 inches. After that, keeping the clay pot on the top of it. Next, I am going to repot my hibiscus plant on the clay pot. The size of the clay pot is 10 inch deeper and 10 inch wider. I am using basic potting soil mix and that is 50% normal garden soil, 25% vermicompost and 25% coco peat. At this time, you may have some questions and let me answer them one by one. Number 1. What is the advantages of this method? Answer is, it's really simple. We are just using kitchen waste materials. After some days, the things whatever I am keeping in the bottom pot are going to get decomposed and our plant would be able to absorb the nutrients from there. Number 2. Why I am not planting the hibiscus directly in the bottom pot? Answer is, well, the soil level would go down after some days as soon as the materials inside the bottom pot start to get decomposed. In case it goes down to the extreme level, I am going to have a hard time while managing my plant, especially while watering. Plus, rainfall in my place is quite high. So I really don't want to create a scenario where my hibiscus plant can swim. Don't want that much water. Second reason is when decomposing happens, it produces lots of heat. This may trouble the roots of hibiscus plant. Third reason, if there is any lack of nitrogen in the bottom pot, our plant may suffer as those materials are going to take the nitrogen from the soil. This is why using the clay pot on the top and size of the clay pot is sufficient for my plant. After all, it's totally a new plant. All done and it's time to water. Let's take a look at the updates. That my plant performed really well within just few days. It transformed from this to this. At the same time, it's also blooming very well. There are lots of buds which are waiting to bloom. Leaves are green and plant is 100% healthy. I hope you are satisfied with the result and I would be truly grateful to you if you can share your view after watching the result. For that, you would simply need to comment below and thank you so much for doing that. Truly appreciated. Now let's talk about one of the most important thing and it is about pinching. Neither I did any kinds of pinching on my plant nor any kinds of pruning. My plant was new, so pruning was not necessary at all. However, I could have done pinching, but looking at the growing habit, I decided not to do that. We can pinch our hibiscus plants to get more branches. More branches means more flowers. We can pinch our plants if they look something like this. Here is the main branch and it's getting taller. If we pinch, it's going to produce more side branches. Please note, we can pinch our hibiscus plants at any time during the growing time, which is the summer. How to pinch? Very simple. Just cut half inch above a node and make sure you don't cut more than 1/3 of the branch. I did the same thing and this is the result after 20 days. It's getting more fuller. By the way, these are some of my other new hibiscus plants. Please note, pruning and pinching is not the same thing. While talking about pruning, we need to consider many things. You don't have to worry in case you want to know more, as I already have a detailed video about pruning hibiscus. For that, please check out the next video. Hope you found this video useful, and if you did, I would truly appreciate if you give it a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel if you are new to gardening upbeat. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, truly appreciate it. Have a great time and enjoy.